Former NBA star C.J. Watson is doing such a great job. He is motivating our youth with a series of children's books. It is a pleasure to welcome a good friend of mine, a guy I'm so proud of, C.J. Watson. C.J., thanks for taking time out.
Oh, thanks for having me. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. What are you doing now during this coronavirus pandemic? Everybody's supposed to stay in the house. What are you
Right.
doing to keep busy?
Just my kids are keeping me busy, doing homework with them, trying to be their teacher, trying to keep them from fighting and not hurting each other. And then just trying to be a motivation to kids out there writing children's books. My third one just recently came out, so just trying to continue to inspire kids.
Mhm. CJ, when you finished your basketball career, you had to have something to do. What
hmm
was it about children's books, and you have three now, that motivated you? Why children's books?
Honestly, it wasn't anything planned. It was just something that I honestly thought about while sitting on the couch. I said playing in the NBA was the inspiration, and since I wasn't doing that anymore, what can I do to kind of continue to be an inspiration and kind of just give kids little bits of knowledge that I received over the years? And I just thought about why not through books.
Hmm.
Kids need to read, and it's a good way to kind of tell your own story and kind of be creative with it. And just recently reached out to one of my old coaches who I knew was an author and asked him for some advice on how to go about the process. And he introduced me to a lady named Tamika Newhouse and her company. And me and her just went to work at it. And she loved the idea, and we talked for about 6 or 7 months. And the end product is the books.
Now, it took 6 or 7 months to get this off the ground.
Yeah, it took 6 or 7 months to get the first one off the ground. Just me and her talking about the ideas that I had in my head, and just trying to get those down on paper and kind of create a vision of what the books will look like, what the story will look like, how we wanted to portray it, how we wanted to portray the characters, and illustration, all that kind of stuff. So it was a long, lengthy
Mhm.
process.
Is it difficult to go through the illustration process? Because I would imagine, I don't know, I've never written a children's book,
Yeah,
but you had a vision that you had to make sure the illustrator had the same vision that you had.
yeah, definitely. It was definitely different. I picked a illustrator I found off Instagram, and that kind of fit my budget. And I looked at his previous work and saw that he did some great work, and kind of just told him what I wanted, the story that we were going with, and then he came back and sent us the photos and the pictures. And really, I didn't really have anything to go back to him like correct or anything because everything I liked, well, it was pretty great.
Mm. Tell me about the first book. Tell me about the story. That's the one that got the second and third one rolling.
Yeah, the first one was about CJ, the character CJ. All these are true stories also, but the character CJ has a big dream of playing in the NBA one day, and but he grows up in a low income neighborhood and he sees uncut grass, graffiti on the walls, and he doesn't let those kind of things discourage him, which can maybe discourage a child for shooting towards his dreams. And at the end of the book, CJ wins the big game, which is getting to the NBA, and he tells his dad at the end, "I want to obviously play in the NBA one day." And it's kind of special because I've heard stories when I was little of my dad's friends telling me that I told them that I would play in the NBA one day. I don't remember those stories, but I'm glad that I was a big dreamer at a young age, and I'm sure young kids are also these days.
Well, hey, did I make the book? Did I make the
Not yet.
book?
You might be. I can see you as a coach in the
We got to
book.
get a call up, man. The call
Right.
up here. See, they get the call up.
Right.
For
Yeah.
people that don't remember the story, when I left Charlotte as a Midwest scout for college, I went to Golden State and did just the D League, and we needed a guard. And so Chris Mullin said, "Go look at C.J. Watson." And that night, I got on the phone and said, "Chris, we got to call this dude up. He can play,"
Yeah.
and which really worked. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, let's talk about your second book.
The second book is dedicated pretty much about education. My parents are real big on education between me and my brother. We couldn't do anything unless we had our grades straight. So the second book is about CJ getting an F in his science project, and his teacher giving him a chance to redo the project, and just shows being resilient, shows persistence, patience. And CJ actually his project was about basketball, about the gravity of
Mm.
basketball and how basketball can be a science if you think about it. So, and at the end of the book, CJ gets the A on his project. He passes his project and gets to play in the next big game.
Okay, now your third book you just released. Tell
Mhm.
us about that one.
The third book is about bullying and just trying to handle how we can teach kids to handle bullies in a positive manner. CJ and his teammate are getting picked on by the team bully, which happened to be their teammate. And at the end of the book, CJ and his teammate and the whole really his class really stand up to the bully once and for all, so that the bully doesn't continue to bully kids around the school.
No, which is absolutely great. What has been the reception from people with this trio of books of yours?
I mean, everyone tells me they like the book so far. It's great stories. Kids can relate to them, and that's really all I wanted. I just want to kind of tell my life stories and my journey through these books, and hopefully kids can relate to. And I think every story is different. Every story has a different topic or a theme, and every kid can relate to it in some way.
CJ, we talking about the books. Where can we find your books?
You can find my books on my personal website, cjpens.com, cjpens.com, or you can go to Amazon and pick them up. Only difference between Amazon and my personal website, I personally autograph the books that come through my personal website. I just can't sign them through Amazon, but you can get them either place.
Now, the NBA, the playoffs are going on, CJ. There's a bubble school because after the first round of playoffs, people were able to bring their family. So you have kids, you have school. And you know what? You look out there and look, there's your book.
Yeah, lo and behold, there's a CJ's Big Dream.
in the bubble school. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel great, just to be, recognized between with all those other great authors on that list. You see CP up there, a whole bunch of other great books. And I really didn't know about it until one of my high school teammates and one of my friends told me, "You're big time." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then he sent me the picture, and it had the books up there, and it's a great feeling and great to see your book up there. And hopefully kids are reading it and liking the book. That's all I really care about.
Right. Well, I don't think it would be there if it wasn't a great book, because
I'm
sure the NBA players said, "Hey, look, we want to get a good book out here for our youngsters." But CJ, we talked about you getting called up from the Golden State Warriors. You were a star in college, including myself. A lot of people were stunned you didn't get drafted. So you went to the D League. We needed a guard. I told Chris Mullin, let's call you up for a 10-day contract. And you stayed 10 years from a 10-day contract, which is a great story.
Right,
you tell people how hard it is to stay in the NBA. As hard as it is to get there, it's really hard to stay.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to stay. Going through the ups and downs that I went to, like you said, I was definitely disappointed I didn't get drafted. I thought I was going to get drafted. That didn't happen. Then I had to go overseas as a young player, a young person, a young man, to another country that I didn't know anything about, being there by myself. But I learned a lot. Learned a lot about myself. I grew a lot. Learned different cultures. Learned to appreciate different cultures. And then just came back and wanted to kind of give the NBA one more shot. And actually, I thought about quitting basketball while I was overseas because I didn't get the credit that I feel like I deserved to get into the NBA. And just staying in the D League kind of helped me hone on all those skills that they said I was weak at. Try to get better at those things and try to get better at things that I was already good at. And like you said, the D League was great for me. It was great to learn the NBA game even more, to learn my teammates, to learn being a leader, and then to learn just about being a professional, doing it day in and day out. And like you said, it was definitely a dream come true to go from a 10-day contract to a 10-year career. And I guess the numbers just speak for itself. It's just a blessing in disguise. 10-10. It's just something great.
Now, let's go back to January 8th, 2008. The day you get the call up from the Warriors, the day you get to sign the contract. What's going through your mind?
I thought it was a joke actually, because between that time and the D League, I was playing pretty good. Got Player of the Month. I think once our team was playing great. We're like the number one team, whatever. My agent kept calling me, every day, like how agents do. This team's interested. This team's interested. They might call you up. I was like, you know what? Just don't call me anymore until I have a call up. I'm sick of you calling me, telling me this team's interested, and no one's really making the move. So he didn't call me for maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, and next time he called me, it was a call up. And I think there was 2 teams trying to call me at the same time, the Charlotte Bobcats and the Warriors. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what my agent told me. But and I'm glad that the Warriors, took the jump on me and took the chance on me, and I'm definitely grateful for it.
Well, you know what? From a personal standpoint, it makes me feel good to see a young man who worked hard fulfill his dream. But when you came to the Chicago Bulls, what really made my heart melt, I still had the box score from the game
Yeah.
before it went in Indiana that I went to see
Yeah.
you play, and I
Right.
gave it to your mother.
Yeah.
I
I
gave that
remember
box
that.
score to your mom, and just to see the look on her face, all those nights driving in cold snow to D League
Yeah.
games, to me was worth it to see
Right.
your mother's face.
Yeah, it was definitely a dream come true. I think my parents are definitely grateful. I think they feel like they play in the NBA because their son plays in the NBA.
Yeah.
You can't tell them any different, but it's definitely good
Mhm.
to, I'm sure, see your child, kind of
Yeah.
have a dream, go through the ups and downs that I went through, and then kind of accomplishing that dream.
Mm. Hey, what was it like playing for the Chicago Bulls? I know you loved Golden State, but then you come to Chicago. What was that like?
It was a dream come true. It was like because obviously I'm a big basketball fan, big Jordan fan, and to play for the team that he played for was definitely something special. I didn't know that the Bulls were even kind of like watching over me, or even I don't think I had any good games when we played the Bulls, so I didn't know if they were going to sign me or not. But it's definitely a blessing, and it was definitely fun. I love the city of Chicago. The fans are great. The team was great. Our team was great from top to bottom, playing with D Rose, Joe Kim, all the bench mob players that we had. I mean, it's just great to play with all those guys.
Yeah, but basketball is a business. You go to New Jersey, you go to Indiana. You finished in
Mm.
Orlando, right? With
Yeah,
the
Orlando.
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You finished with Orlando, which is the first NBA team that I worked for doing
Okay.
scouting. But what you stand for, CJ, is education. You got your degree. You went and got your degree
Hmm.
from Tennessee. And what do you tell youngsters when they see you, a 10-year basketball player, but there's more to life than basketball? It's got to stop sometime.
Yeah, for sure. You always want to have that backup plan. I think when I was playing, I always thought about what I would do if all this ended, or if I had an injury or anything like that, because I definitely had my share of injuries. But you always have to have that backup plan and always know what you want to do when you're done playing. You don't really have to have it secure, but just know what you want to kind of dip and dabble into and kind of focus on that. And even focus on it while you're playing. The best time in the NBA is kind of gain your network while you're there, because you're going to meet so many people while playing in the NBA. Your network and net worth is going to be so important, because when you're done playing, when that ball is done bouncing, they're not probably not going to pick up the phone. But if you have that relationship, they'll probably continue to be friends with you and do business with you.
Right. Hey, final question. What's next for CJ? More books, maybe a cartoon series?
Yeah, we have one more book coming out. Trying to finish the topic on that and the theme of that one, and then who knows? Maybe turn this into a cartoon, turn it into paraphernalia, T-shirts, pillows. I mean, I think the options are unlimited, and I think just gotta take the right chances and meet the right people, and then make those decisions.
Well, CJ, I can't tell you enough how proud I am of you because you've done it the right way. You worked hard and you always went back to that education and you didn't just rely on basketball. And you are a credit. I know today's your dad's birthday. Happy
Yeah,
birthday to your dad. Hey,
yeah.
and
Happy birthday to him.
thank you so much, CJ, for taking time being with me.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. You always been a stand-up guy in A1, and I always thank you for everything you've done for me.
All right. Thanks, CJ.